fellas, welcome back to Cringe Confessional, the cringiest show on the internet. Sorry if that intro was a little intense. I've been told to dial it back. I set up an online forum where people could send me their most chilling, scary, cringiest, worst anonymous stories on Twitch, and now I'm gonna read them. Also, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I don't say that ever, and I feel like I should start because we're almost at 200K, and now I have to start begging. Also, if you ever want to be on the show, please submit to cringe.coney.gg. So if you like this series and you want to be on it, and I promise you I'm not going to track anything other than your IP. That's all. And that's just for my safety, so I know who you are. Let's do some cringing, shall we?
When I was around 10-12 years old or so, I had basically decided God wasn't real.
Base?
This is because while my parents would celebrate Easter and Christmas, we didn't really emphasize the religious aspects of it, and they didn't go to church much.
Sure.
I also watched a lot
Holy
of
Reddit?
science programming
I mean,
like on
at 12?
Discovery Channel, and read a lot of science books about space, so I didn't believe in religion.
Dude, you're getting real curious about the world, and Mommy and Daddy keep telling you about God, and you're like, Mommy and Daddy are lying!
One weekend, my mom drags me with her to a service for the church she occasionally went to. I remember the preacher talking about how we should be thankful for what God has done for us or something, and I just wasn't having since I was already
defeated
annoyed
God
at
at
having to be there
Xenoblade.
that early in the morning on the weekend. I angrily
Maybe
get
I'm
out of my
God.
seat and yell, "Why would you lie to these people?
Oh my God.
God
Reddit
isn't
kid.
real."
Oh
and
my
then
God.
walked out of the room as the congregation went silent.
Bro, that pastor thinks you're going through some shit, man. That's like the beginning of a made-for-TV movie. You're about to learn the meaning of Christmas. If you're on the Hallmark Channel, you are absolutely going to see God by the end. God's not even real! Why are you lying to everybody? This Christmas, this small-town kid is about to learn the meaning of the word faith.
At the very least, I never went to a church service ever again after that.
Damn, it's that easy? Holy. There's a little tip for you guys, any youngins watching the Coney stream. Blaspheme in a congregation. Make everybody uncomfortable, and then they'll be like, wow, I don't want to save that kid anymore. God send him to hell.
So, I went to a private Christian school for most of preschool and elementary school.
Okay, this is a different story. There's a lot of God tonight. Very godly stream.
So the next day I walk out for recess, and it turns out a lot of kids were sick that day.
Okay.
No biggie, I'll just hang out with this one kid who I think my brother knew. I decided that in order to make a good impression of myself to this kid, who already enjoyed my company, I would say the funniest word I knew.
What was it?
The F word. Instead of being mortified, this very Christian boy started laughing, so I kept saying it.
Oh, the no context bad word that you're just spitting out for no reason. He does not hear it at home. This is why you need to curse around your kids a little bit. It's an immunization. No, I don't curse around my kid. I'm very careful. Because I curse without even thinking a lot. That's how I know, is because my kid still runs up to kids at the park and goes, poop! And I'm like, dude, it's been like 6 months. Stop. Stop poop jokes.
All of a sudden I hear a tiny voice say the F word.
Oh, no.
I turn around and a group of preschoolers were watching and laughing at me.
Oh, no.
So what was the most rational response to this
You
situation?
keep saying it. You got an
Why
audience
keep
now.
repeating the word, of
Yup,
course?
everybody loves you.
I was
Yup.
called up to the principal's
Yup.
office later that day and had to explain to the principal
love you
and
now.
the preschoolers' parents what I did. In a panic, I said the first thing that came to mind.
Not again.
The F word. Complete silence. It haunts me how stupid I was this day.
It's like a zero intelligence run in Fallout. Like, you have one dialogue option, and you're like, dude, again? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna draw aggro from the principal. He's gonna start up the guns in his office, and then he's gonna shred me to pieces. Why don't I have any dialogue options?
This happened very unexpectedly when I was in 8th grade. One of our friends was chubby, and we had a lighthearted and immature joke about his man boobs called Titty Slap Tuesday.
Oh, I hate Titty Slap Tuesday. I know this kid hates Monday night. Monday night at 9 o'clock laying in bed like, oh no.
One of our other friends had a falling out and decided to report some of our inside jokes to the administration in a strange revenge move.
What a piece of shit.
A week after,
That's crazy.
the guidance counselor stopped our science class and came in to have a serious talk with the entire room about Titty Slap Tuesday.
Imagine being a girl in that class. I'm in danger. And then you find out it's one kid. Oh, Daryl? Fat Daryl? Oh.
And somehow assumed that we were sexually assaulting the girls in
Yeah,
the
that's
class,
way different.
which never remotely happened to
That's
us.
way different. Yeah, Fat Daryl, the one with the tits? Oh, that's fine.
Not a single fucking person in our class knew what she was talking about. And then our science teacher also scolded the entire room.
That's way funnier for it to backfire. Kid that tells the principal about all the inside jokes and nobody knows what they're talking about. So they just look like such a piece of shit to the principal. That's funny. What is he talking about?
During high school, I was one of those kids who desperately tried to be funny.
Who wasn't?
I would make quips any chance I could, and many times, they were positively not funny.
Oh, that's way worse.
The worst was in 9th grade, while we were watching some movie about a kid who had dwarfism.
Uh-oh.
There was a scene where he was in a play as a baby, and while staring at another character's boobs, he had a face very reminiscent of Stephen Hawking that I had found humorous.
Oh, God.
What a great time for a joke.
No!
But I suddenly couldn't remember Stephen Hawking's first name, and for whatever reason my mind filled in the blank with Nicholas. So, with my whole being, I said he looks like Nicholas Hawking.
Dude.
A key thing that I happened to forget, however, was that Nicholas Hawking was the name of one of my classmates.
That is a very... He's not gonna believe you. He will not believe you. You're gonna explain later, like, no, I meant like Stephen Hawking, like the physicist. No, you didn't. No, that's the one guy with a shared last name. Oh my God, dude.
I accidentally compared a classmate everyone
Oh
had
my
known and
God.
loved for years to a perverted child with dwarfism.
Oh.
Nobody laughed.
No.
And the depressed-sounding thanks
No.
Nick let out afterwards certainly didn't help matters.
Okay, Nick's farming it. Stop, Nick. Stop. Nick, don't farm it. Come on. He feels bad enough. Nobody laughed at the joke. Just pop like a okay. Just do one of those, Nick. Make him feel worse. Oh, that's the end.
Years ago, I attended a summer pre-college program.
Okay.
For the most part, it was a great experience for me. I felt like a real adult,
Sure.
taking coffee to my classes with actual professors.
Dude, I was never a coffee drinker, but there is something to, like, the rite of passage of, like, buying and drinking and experiencing coffee. Having, like, coffee in your everyday life. Does that make sense? I'm a coffee drinker guy. Yeah, exactly. Like, being a coffee guy. Some mess up and end up with energy drinks. But those guys are, like, cool, right? They're cool. Is that cool? I like my Monster Rehabs. They're not carbonated. They're a gentle wake-up tool, and they make my heart go really fast.
They kept a container of cinnamon next to the coffee dispenser in the cafeteria, and one day I decided to try a liberal sprinkling of cinnamon in my coffee.
I would try
I
fucking
sipped on
sure.
it during class,
Why not?
and it turned out to be nothing
Thanks, Saggy,
special.
for the prime.
I decided to take my cup of coffee to the bathroom during the break to empty it into the sink.
Okay.
I did just that, with the only complicating factor being that the cinnamon had coagulated into a slick,
Ooh.
brown, venomous looking substance at the bottom of the coffee cup, which was now stuck in the sink drain.
Okay.
Not knowing what to do, I scooped it out
How
with a
much? How much cinnamon did you put in? Can you not just pick it up and like just run? I gotta get out of here.
As I walked to the trash can by the door, an older, official-looking woman walked into the bathroom. She glanced down at the paper towel I held in my hands with what I'm sure looked like a massive pile of soupy shit,
No,
glanced up at me in horror, and walked out of the room without a word.
Okay, I don't think that woman thought you were holding a poop.
The look she gave me haunts me to this day.
Well, maybe. I didn't see the look. Yeah, but that smells delicious. Why does this bathroom have such an enchanting aroma? This girl is holding a poop. And yet, it smells like a bakery in here. An aromatic stew.
When I was 17, I went to an amusement park with two of my friends.
Cool.
The amusement park was split into two parts, one that was mostly thrill rides, and the other being a water park.
Sure.
We had a lot of fun at the water park, and decided to go to the thrill rides after having lunch and changing out of the swimwear.
Uh-huh.
I decide to quickly take a shower,
fine.
and as I am removing my clothes, the doors cracked open. I panic and slam
That's
my
when you
body
pop
into
the-
it, somehow managing to get my underwear wet.
Oh.
In my infinite wisdom, I decide to go commando for the rest of the day,
That's fine.
reasoning that my shorts are tight enough that there's no way anyone could see.
Well.
What I do not realize, until I've met up with my friends again outside, is that there's a huge hole in the bottom of my shorts right at the base of my sack.
Dude, wait, oh my god, everybody's had dreams like this. This is quite a predicament. This is quite the challenge. You just gotta go wet underwear. That's all.
I start scrolling through my phone trying to think of anything but the breeze on my balls. I remember my parents told me to take videos of us on the rides, so I opened the camera app on my phone and look up to see a couple on the ride staring at me. I look down and see a ball in a part of the shaft fully visible. My heart sinks. I stand up and start to walk away as fast as I can.
Put that away!
I see the man whisper something into the ear of the other person sitting beside him.
Oh
He
no,
tries to get
it's a
my
nightmare.
attention,
This is a
possibly
nightmare.
because he thinks I
This
don't
is a
know about the
nightmare.
whole.
It's a nightmare. It's a
I ignore
nightmare.
him and manage to get away from the ride before it starts and spend the rest of the day
Get
trying my
out!
best to not let my friends realize why I refuse to go on any of the rides.
I would jump over the fence that the roller coaster has around it. I would hope I got decapitated. I would go to the Superman roller coaster with the hanging legs, and I would just put my head out like this. Please kick my head out. Please.
A little background information.
Yep.
Me and my friends were in our YouTuber phase about around 2019.
Who wasn't?
Also, the time porn bots were popping up in small YouTubers' comment section.
Dude, I
Now-
still get those. Have you guys seen those? Please stop liking them. I think people are ironically liking them every time. I keep getting porn bots in my comments. It's like, who's watching this in 2028? And so many people like them. But now they're like straight up just like a hole. Where? Guy who found out you could see vaginas on the internet. Wait!
Now to the story. My friend made a video, and I wanted to show my parents.
Cool.
They found it funny. I glance at a comment section and see a person commenting really funny. I found a comic strip. Click this link to view it. My dumbass clicked the link, and what popped up was Judy Hopps getting railed by the Fox character from Zootopia. Another thing, I had dropped my computer about 50 times before this, and sometimes the cursor would just not move. Guess what happened?
I
Me,
think
my
I know
mom,
what
and dad
happened.
are watching this scene for about 45 seconds before the cursor could move.
Ain't
I w-
nobody in the family know about Alt F4? Whole family don't know about Alt F4, huh? Ain't nobody know Control W? We're leaving that shit up. Close the computer!
I am still banned from YouTube, but still break it to watch these stories.
Oh my God. Hey, put me on to mom and dad. Take me. Show this to your mom and dad. Listen, your son or daughter is very sorry for that Judy Hopps animation, but I'll have you know, some people pay very good money for that on Patreon.com. Maybe your son or daughter is probably son. Maybe your son is a connoisseur. I don't know. Maybe he just clicked a bad link. But please let him continue to watch the Coney channel, and why don't you two subscribe? Please. We're almost at 200K. Come on, mom and dad. I like how he didn't know the fox's name. That's how he has plausible deniability. Why is everyone in that movie hot? I don't get it. Why did they make all the animals in Zootopia, like, really attractive? Isn't that weird that they made, like, all of them really hot? What a weird thing for Disney to do. Like, I want to fuck every animal in that movie. That's so weird of them. That's weird for them to do. That's really funny.
Like some chatters, I have also been to a religious camp. When
Oh,
I
hell
was
yeah,
around
more God
12 or
stories.
13. One day, our pastor was giving us a lesson on being salty and how we shouldn't be salty, because that's what the Bible said or
Did you
something.
use that word? Gamer pastor?
We were split into two groups, and he handed two of the same food items to
Real
one
salt?
person from the group. The catch was that one was covered in salt, and we had to figure out which one had it.
Okay.
Then it's my turn. He hands me, and somebody from the other group, a small plastic cup halfway filled with Nutella.
Uh-huh.
Because I love Nutella and I also have had, I didn't stop to consider that mine tasted a little weird, so I scarfed the whole thing down.
Uh-huh.
Since we both finished our cups of Nutella, and nobody said anything about it tasting salty, the pastor didn't really know what to do, so he had everybody go sit back down.
Wait, I'm not quite following what happened here. The pastor asked for group participation. He gave you a cup of dessert. You ate all of it, and then that's it? Like,
As we were wrapping up the lesson, I got up to go leave, when I just vomited in the middle of the floor.
oh, now I get it. It's a vomit story. Oh, you threw up. Got it. Okay. Dude, I was lost for a second. Right. You threw up in the church.
No build-up, no warning, just vomit.
It was poison.
And I learned to never trust food from a church.
I guess so. You told me that's the body of Christ? Come on now. That. Oh, and I bet you got his blood too. And there it is.
Bimmy, in high school. Chilling.
Well, he said Beamy.
Bimmy, in high school. Chilling at home. Crush comes over to copy my notes. Oruga. She's copying my notes.
texting?
I'm cracking jokes. All is well.
Okay.
I get thirsty. I pick up a can of juice in arm's reach and take a swig.
Ashtray.
It is April. I left this can out overnight.
Oh,
I saw an
you're
ant
infested.
on my desk earlier.
Yeah.
Bimmy, mouth now filled with 100 ants. That got trapped in the can. Some still alive.
Oh, God.
Crush notices awkward break in conversation and looks over. I
Mouth full
swallow
of ants.
and feign coughing
Oh,
while suppressing
God.
the urge to throw up. I managed to not get sick, but will now never drink from an opaque container.
Ant-Man, why did you do that? The new Ant Mother. Yeah, you got a colony in there. Oh, dude, they're gonna eat your intestines. Dude, eating one ant is fine. Eating a full group, a colony of them, and you don't know how many of them are alive? Oh my God. How hot does she have to be for you to swallow those ants? Not that hot, man. You're telling me you're never swallowing the ants? I would do it for any woman. White Knight in chat. Worry not, my dear.
When I was around 5 or 6, my dad was really into the Philadelphia Flyers. One night, my dad, his friend, that friend's son, and I all went to go see them play hockey live. Around
Cool.
halftime, my dad bought me something to eat. The All-American Frankfurter. I began to concoct a Machiavellian scheme. If I could throw the hot dog so powerfully that it would end up on the ice rink, then I could mess up the rival team's game and make the Flyers win.
This is absolutely something a kid thinks. This is the most real story that has ever been submitted to Cringe Confessional.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Knowing I would relish this moment, I gave the glizzy one last gander.
Dude, that shit was
before
probably
tossing it forward with all my might.
$19.
Tragically, it did not end up on the rink, but instead in the hair of a woman 3 rows below us.
Oh.
My dad turns to me. What did you do that for? I begin to explain step by step my brilliant ploy to bring honor to the Flyers as my dad stares blankly. I end by asking, can I have another hot dog?
No!
I am hungry.
It was an $18 hot dog. No, son. Well, you gotta feed him something. Oh, man. That's the fear of every parent. Some kid concocting some harebrained, cartoonish Bugs Bunny scheme that only they know about. It lives in their brain. When I was like 5 or 6, my dad, who was a mechanic, brought he had a Jeep, I think? And the mechanic gave him a fire extinguisher. They're like, listen, if this shit catches on fire, you're gonna need this because your engine is really hot. It did catch on fire, and we pulled into the parking station of a Heckinger's, maybe? I was convinced, and I told my dad this, that guy tricked us, and that it was a Wile E. Coyote type scheme to set our car ablaze. Like, the fire extinguisher started the fire. Like, oh, he gave us a fire starter. And I'm telling my dad this while he's actively putting out a fire. Like, in the middle, he's, like, trying not to let his car burn down. And I'm like, Dad, I know what happened! I know what happened! That guy... And he said, stop! And I'm, like, panicking, right? I'm like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm, like, screaming. I'm telling him exactly what happened. That guy tricked us. For no reason, by the way. Why would he even do that?
This is a story from when I was doing a study abroad in college.
Okay.
When it was late at night and I had to pee, I often thought to myself, but the bathroom is so far.
Uh-huh.
Streamer, this is when I came up with an incredible solution.
Bottles or sink. Bottles or sink. Bottles.
I drained some bottles of lemon iced tea and peed in those.
Bottles. Drawer? Never drawer. Dude, the pee drawer is once in a lifetime.
Since the tea was yellow, no one would question a thing.
Uh-huh.
I had to keep the bottles in my fridge, since they'd stink up my room otherwise.
Yeah.
One night, when my bottles were full, I went to the kitchen to dispose of them.
Oh, God.
However, one of my fellow students was in the kitchen too. I went
Oh,
to pick him
yeah.
up, and he stopped me, saying anon, why are you throwing out that iced tea?
It went bad. It went
The
bad.
bottles are still full.
No, it went
It'd be
bad.
a waste.
It went bad.
Me, panicking,
No.
said that I
Oh,
didn't
they're
want
gonna
them,
want some.
so
They're
I
gonna
just
want it.
wanted
They're
to
gonna
get
want
rid
it.
of
They're
them.
gonna want it. It's
My
expired.
friend,
Say it's expired.
suspicious of my panicked behavior, said, is that really iced tea? Yes. Okay, then you wouldn't mind drinking some of it, would
Oh
you,
my
dear
God!
streamer and chat? There is something important I have to share with you.
Oh my God, this guy fucking did it. This is all a setup to say that they did it. I can't believe the other guy would have the audacity to call you on this. That's not his business.
I was incredibly socially awkward,
you
and
drank
I was
pee.
deeply
You drank
afraid
your
of
pee.
confrontation.
Old pee, too.
I did the only
Rancid,
rational
fermented,
thing possible.
jenkum.
I'll drink it if you drink it.
Oh, my
We
God.
both took a bottle each.
Shall
put it
we?
In front of the sink.
Okay, why did you dare them? Why are they getting in on this? Why would the other person get in on this? Okay, that's great.
We opened the bottles and went to take a swig at the same time.
Are you fucking joking?
My friend, being assaulted by the flavors of my days-old dark yellow piss, vomited immediately. Me, desperate to maintain the facade, no matter the cost, swallowed.
How many cringe confessionals have there been? That, I think, is the second time I've felt like I was gonna vomit. Like, how did it go after they spit, right? After they threw up? Because you drank it, which creates whole new problems. Because, like, if I'm the other guy, I'm like, you made me drink that. You forced me to drink it, knowing it was pee. You swallowed it. You knew I would find out, and yet you still did it. Like, that would cause a fight, I think. It's a fucked up story.
I was a sophomore in high school at the time, and I was talking to this girl for around 7 months.
All right.
We would message each other on Snapchat every day. She would call me Midja, which means my son in
not how you say
Spanish, and in my infinite genius I said, if you keep calling me that, I'm going to call you mommy. So she sends the screenshot of me calling her mommy to my friends, and I get clowned on by them for the remainder of the year.
Dude, man, girls are mean. Aww. I was trying to do something. I hate the screen capture.
I eventually just blocked her and made sure to avoid her in school. The last thing I said to her was when she
Oh my
asked
God,
me to sign her yearbook, and I just said no.
That's the end of the story. That's how it ends. Oh my God. Oh, she called you mijo and you tried to flirt back and you got laughed at. Now everybody knows. Dude, I cannot imagine trying to date as a teenager right now. It sounds so fucking bad. You are going to get screenshotted. You can't... Like, flirting is cringe, no matter what you do, especially on text. It's always going to be embarrassing. There's no way around it.
I was in 6th grade, and I was a very dramatic kid.
Okay.
We had a substitute one day who just kinda had us doing
It's not
nothing.
me.
This, for some reason, pissed me off, and I tried to rally the rest of the class behind me,
Pissed
using
you
Do You
off.
Hear the People Sing from Les Miserables. It, as expected, did not go the way I was hoping for.
No
and
way.
we had to talk to the teacher the day after. I inevitably got called out for my actions, and my defense resolved to me saying that curiosity killed the cat. But what if the cat isn't afraid of death?
Oh my God.
I still do not know what made me pick this path.
Oh my
And I think
God,
I ended
dude.
up getting sent home.
Dude, I would
We
expel
were moving
you.
anyway, so nothing really came of it.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like this type of kid doesn't exist much. Like, you are a very rare breed. You're singing Les Mis because you had a substitute teacher? Like, what did you... Where are your parents, man? I'd be so mad if my kid was like that. Yeah, daddy's drinking a lot. He has to. Having to live with that kid? Oh, God.
This isn't a story I actually remember, but it's one my mother had recently told me that, at least we think, is very embarrassing.
I'll
In first
be the
grade,
judge of that.
one of the first things we did in the school year was a little project about our role models. So the day comes, and obviously my parents come to school that day. My twin sister, Elle, had chosen our mother, while I chose our father.
Aw.
When me and Elle were called up to the front
That's
of
sweet.
the classroom, Elle goes first and does something sweet for my mother, and all the adults in the room go, "Ah," and whatever.
Oh,
Next
dude.
is my turn to
Imagine being the
present mine.
dad. Uh-oh.
I hold my paper in front of me to present it to everyone in the room, and with complete innocence and admiration, say, "My dad is my role model, because he is an alcoholic," with my drawing of a stick figure with a sombrero and a glass of beer.
Oh, my God. A sombrero? The dad stands up. No, 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 no. I drank one Corona last night. No, no. I'll take a breathalyzer right now.
My mother says you wouldn't believe the silence in the room, and that we
Oh my
had to leave
God.
early because my mother was almost in tears. Also, CPS wouldn't get off our asses for over 2 years after this, but nothing happened in the end.
I mean, you gotta be honest. It does sound like a cry for help. The sombrero. Why did we associate that with alcohol? Like, why did we think that? Like, not a normal hat? The siesta hat? Children are fucking scary, bro. Yeah, man. They get ideas in their head and you don't know what's cooking in there. You could be the most attentive, careful, caring parent ever, and they got something in there that is not informed by normal society mores. They're just cooking up some animal shit in there, man.
A few years back, I was on a short road trip with my girlfriend and 2 of her friends.
We were just hanging in the car and listening to music in that classic pass the cable style.
Right.
I had passed a few times as I was still a quiet, reserved person, but my girlfriend had asked me to contribute and join in on the fun.
Uh-oh. What'd you put on?
I played a lot of TF2 then and enjoyed the
fuck
culture
me.
and memes, and one SFM animation with a strange song popped into my head. For whatever horrific reason that day, I decided to play that song, involving a certain body part and tapeworms. Turns out, that was a rather strange choice for these much more normal people than I, and it was immediately met with confused, somewhat frightened looks. The driver told me to shut it off, and so I did very quickly by ripping out the cord from my phone, which was apparently done too hard and broke the cord. The mood beforehand was fun and light, but after my contribution the tension could be cut like butter. The rest of that ride I did not speak, and I never spoke with those friends again after the trip.
That person's dead to you now. You put on some fucked up TF2 SFM remix bullshit, and now that person, you'll never interact with them again. Yeah, but what? Well, you had a girlfriend, right?
But thankfully, my girlfriend saw past my chicanery and is now my wife.
Wow. I did not expect that part.
Link to song?
Oh, we have the song link. Tremendous. Okay, dude. This is so much worse. Passenger of shit. Staple tapeworms on my penis. Oh my god. Imagine being the driver. Hey, Brad! Why don't you put on a song? Midge seems to like you a lot, and I love Midge. Come on. Okay. I would not marry you. I cannot believe that person is still with you. I would have made you walk home. You shouldn't have shown this to me. Dude, what if they really vibed with it? Yo, who is this? Okay. He does what on his penis? Thanks for watching Cringe Confessional, YouTube. Did you like the stories? I like some of them. Thanks for watching Cringe Confessional, YouTube. Why don't you come by the stream? See it live sometimes. It's a lot of stories you didn't hear. You might have made the right choice for that, though. These were horrifying. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, YouTube. Remember to subscribe. You got to the end. You owe me. You got to the end of the video. Like the video. We're not going to make it to this point in the outro. We never do. I used to do long outros. Now we cut it off way early.